Welcome to the definitive guide to scaling a direct consumer e-commerce business in the world of Facebook. We're going to cover a lot of things today because I feel like there's a lot of missing pieces. A lot of brands are good. A lot of marketers are smart. There's a great blueprint to what to follow. The problem is a lot of it lacks complete context. There's good pieces here and a good piece over there, but putting them together is something that most people miss. And far too many folks are chasing out of context wins that might sound good, might feel good today, but ultimately it's stepping over dollars to pick up pennies. And one of the things I say all the time is you can't move mountains if you're worried about the pebbles. So let's focus on what's a pebble, what's a mountain moving decision. And that's really going to come on the back of three super important skills that you need to understand. So today we're going to dive into those particular things here in just a minute. But first, I want to say this. I know you could be literally anywhere on the internet right now and you've chosen to be here, and I really appreciate it. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe, drop comments below. If you like it, just let me know. All those comments help. If you're listening to the podcast, go ahead and subscribe, set it up to auto download. You don't even have to listen to it, but that helps. That goes a long way. And if you're watching these in little clips, please go ahead and tell your friends, and do not be afraid to ask questions. Share this. Let me know feedback. What else you'd like to understand and how else I can be of help. If you dig this video, if you like this information, if this type of content is good for you, do not be afraid to go to newsletter.facebookdisruptor.com and sign up for the Shape of Disrupt newsletter. Every single week, there's going to be fresh information in your inbox from me to you for free to scale your business and your success. And ultimately, if you want to take it to the next level, the best in class education you can get, the Facebook Ads MBA program, mba.facebookdisruptor.com. So let's dive into this. You can go down in the description below to understand a lot more information and check out the article accompanying the video on YouTube. And let's, with that, dive into skill number one that you need to understand, which is the hero product. Far too many people make the mistake of trying to run ads to a lot of products. And it makes sense. Well, we've got 4 or 5 things that are profitable. Great. However, when you're using growth and acquisition media, it's not about making 4 or 5 different customer journeys. It's about doing one thing really well. And there's more than a few reasons for this. On the machine learning side, because we're using Facebook ads, or TikTok, or YouTube, or literally any optimized CPM environment built on data to give people a user experience based on the meritocracy of ads to grow a business, which is basically all social. You need to understand that every investment you make is growing the strength and validity and knowledge base for the machine learning to deliver a simple business objective and goal for your brand. The problem is when you chase 4 or 5 different moving objects, you are effectively you are not investing as much as you can in doing one thing well. You're making multiple things good enough. 4 or 5 B minuses is never going to be as good as an A plus. If you get the queen on the chessboard version of a hero product, you're going to be able to go anywhere. Having 4 or 5 rooks and knights and pawns and bishops, that's great. But ultimately, it's never going to be as good as having the queen on the chessboard. What you need to do is figure out what's your queen on the chessboard. Now, we use the profitable scaling margin equation to really understand what's the best offer for our business objective where we can afford to scale the front end of our business. Now, on the Facebook machine learning side, that allows Facebook to get smarter and smarter at doing that one thing exceptionally well. You're basically training your best employee to do one job very, very, very well. And investing in that makes it very easy to get some other sides of the business accounted for. And that's where we have to get into it, because it's not just ROAS on Facebook. Because remember, ROAS doesn't mean anything. We have to understand that there are other needs in the business. Inventory, conversion rate optimization, second purchase rate, how likely is somebody to come back and buy again, improving the LTV. These business metrics that ultimately grow a business have very little to do with how many things can we sell at a profit. It has a lot more to do with how many profitable customer journeys can we create? How stable and projectable are those journeys? And how good are we at making those journeys more profitable? And can we increase the volume of them in a steady, projectable way? That's how you make a lot of money. It's never do a bunch of things well. It's do one thing exceptionally well and scale it. Doing a good work in a lot of places isn't nearly as good as doing the best you can and getting better at it. So part of the reason that this is really important is when you're trying to improve what happens after the click, you have to focus on conversion rate, click-through rate, AOV, upsells, LTV, all of this stuff. It's a lot easier to do that when you've got more data to test what happens in your funnel. Remember, the marketing funnel basically ends at the customer journey. That customer journey is effectively a funnel that starts at a purchase, but hopefully ends in acquiring a customer. Because making a sale and acquiring a customer are two very different things. Getting somebody that wants to come back and buy from you over and over again, far more valuable than making a profitable sale to somebody that distracts you from the acquisition of more people that are going to buy from you again. So let's break this down a little bit more. You want more data. You want more information. You want to be able to move faster with higher confidence and get better and better at doing one thing exceptionally well. Problem is, if you're spending money promoting 4 or 5 different ads, 4 or 5 different offers, 4 or 5 different products, let's say it's an even split. Each one of those things is getting 20% of your effort, not 100. The question is, if one of them gives you a 10% profit, another gives you 50, every time you make a 10% profit on one product, that comes at the expense of making that 50% profit a 55. One of those things is exceptionally better for your bottom line. Now, maybe that 50% profit is great, but that person never buys again. And the 10% product, those people are worth 3 times more over the lifetime. When you're chasing day of cash flow with that 50% markup, you're actually hurting long-term cash flow and the growth of your business because you're not investing in building a customer relationship of greater value. Let's try to bring this in a different way. If you are trying to sell one product or trying to grow your business, when you focus on getting one product and all of your traffic goes to that one thing, that means every click, every impression, every ad, it all goes to making your strongest business operation stronger. Now, why this helps is it also means that your email flows don't have to cater to 5 different types of customers or 20. It means that your efforts to optimize your landing page are all built around ads that do one thing really well, which means you're also going to get much more stable results out of your ads, because instead of trying to show a bunch of different people a bunch of different products and hopefully they pick the right one that you want to steer them to, which is creating offer confusion in the marketplace, now you're just focusing them on doing one thing. And you get them to do that one thing really well and stop confusing the customer, and also massively ramping up the volume of data you get on your conversion rate, optimization efforts after the click. Also the email flow. How much easier is it for you to understand how to get somebody to buy a second time if you're selling 5 different things versus doing one? How complex of a problem do you want to have? The simpler the problem and the simpler the solution, the greater amount of stability and projectability of the outcome, which ultimately means the greater amount of scale you're going to get for your business. This also makes it much easier to understand costs, inventory, and support for your business. How many different SKUs do you want to hold in inventory that maybe you sell, maybe you don't, versus one thing you know, if I buy this much, it's going to sell out and all I got to do is continue to push it. I'm not saying don't sell multiple products. People can come into your store and decide to buy multiple things. That's fine. Nike sells way more socks and trainers, jogging pants than they do Jordans, but they promote the Jordan more than anything else. McDonald's sells way more soft drinks than they do Big Macs. but they pretty much promote the Big Mac as their primary offer. Now, you can take exceptions to this and find all of the other things that they do, but remember, these are talking billion-dollar companies. The point is, you don't need to run your business like a billion-dollar company to be successful. You need to focus on the one thing that you can do that's exceptionally good, that gives you a greater opportunity to improve the LTV of your customer as a multiple over the cost for you to acquire them. That's that PSM equation. We're going to get to more of that in a minute. And ultimately, what separates you in the marketplace? What's your unique selling proposition? And we'll get to that here in a minute as well. Your hero product needs to be the thing that best fits your ability to spend money today and your needs as a business to grow in the future. That also allows you to get more secondary purchases and third and fourth purchases, because each one of those is another opportunity to improve the AOV of that purchase. And the more customers you get that are worth more and more money to you, the more money you can spend to acquire a customer, so your costs on the platform can go up, because ultimately you're still able to scale your budget against scaling revenue, even if that first sale doesn't grow in value. Because if your average customer buys once, you need to make money right then. But if they buy twice, and then over 6 months, you get better and better at that, and then half of them buy a third time, and a fourth and a fifth, you can spend against that future revenue to acquire that customer journey, because you're no longer saying, I need to make profit on the sale today. I need to make profit on this entire customer journey. And then it's much easier to improve the conversion rate, manage the inventory, and the cost to make that thing grow. Much, much easier than chasing 5 or 10 or 20 moving objects that constantly shift throughout the marketplace, that you're going to be far less confident in every decision that you make to improve those. If you have any more questions about this stuff, please drop it down below. If you find value, subscribe to the newsletter at newsletter.facebookdisruptor.com. I'm here to help. Let's dive in to the next thing. The second part of this conversation we really need to get to is LTV.